How did you guys meet?
We met at the gym, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
Actually,
property management. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, actually, the very first time was I was looking at a commercial property that I think Neil was the commercial
Property
manager for this company. And I'm trying to remember what car I drove up in.
You were in a convertible BMW
Yeah.
with dollar signs in the back.
That's right. Yeah.
Like, who is this guy?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I did some stuff like that. Yeah, I had some asshole tags like "got money" with a question mark and "envy us," and the S was a money symbol. And when people give me shit about it, I'd be like, "No, it's envy the U.S."
Right.
Yeah, I'm just proud of my country. Right?
And so you guys, let's get back to how you met in a little bit. I'll get off track and we'll find our way back. But when you guys met doing business stuff, how long was it until you started doing business together? And also that thing with the tags, right? Envy us, got money, all that. How far after making money was that? Like, how different is it not having money and then having money? Do you understand?
I mean, actually, at 13, I was that way.
No shit.
So I think really what people get wrong is success so much is a state of mind, right? Like it's what we, it's how we look at things. And I want you to think about it from, like Neil talks about how we perceive time. We perceive time in a very linear fashion. So let's think that way. Let's use an example that everybody can relate to on some level. Is you understand that, let's say you wanted to be a doctor or a lawyer or any position, you would say, oh, I've got to go through, essentially 18 years of school, graduate high school, I've got to go to 4 years of college. Like, there's a plan. You can literally look at a book and go, okay, if you do X, Y, and Z at the end successfully,
this math adds up.
Yeah, at the end, you end up with this degree, right? You can be an attorney or a doctor or whatever you want to be, right?
Yeah.
And for me, business is the exact same way. Success is the exact same way, right? You have to think about it the same way. It's just a series of events that lead you down a path, right? And so at 13, I used to say things like, oh, I'm going to be a millionaire by 30. Now at 13, you obviously don't understand the concept of what $1 million is and what we're talking about is what that money can do, right?
Okay.
Like the value it represents is really at that time at 13. Well, when I was 13, $1 million did more than what it does today, right? Inflation 101. But so at 13, I knew I was going to do really well, and so it was a state of mind. Like I thought of myself as a hustler, as a hard worker, and when you compare yourself at an early age to your peers, I was ahead of them. And so as far as financially, I just had this mindset that if I'm ahead of them and I continue to be ahead of them as I age, I'll always be one of the top performers, which means by default, as I age, I'll be ahead of I can continue to keep that pace, and I'll just be a top performer.
Where's that mindset come from?
Man, I don't know.
Born with it, family, earned it, learned it.
You met my father. I would say my family. My mother hates.
I'm call him Mr. Mayor from now
on.
Mr.
Mayor. Yeah, Mr. Mayor is my mother and father. My mother and Mr. Mayor don't particularly like this part, but we grew up really poor.
Okay.
But I didn't know we were poor, but we were, and I think the problem, during that period, my father was very entrepreneurial. He ended up becoming a public speaker, and companies would pay him to come out, and I mean, like he accomplished a whole lot for a guy that originally joined the military when he was 17 years old.
And he was really poor growing up.
Yeah, extremely poor. Yeah. So I feel like, on some level, I got really lucky because my father was. I would go to like these network marketing meetings, the Amways, the Metalucas, like the opportunity, like any of these things. I remember very vividly, in the early 90s, as a very, very, very young child, because I'd be in the car with him for hours. I'd hear him on the phone. So I was immersed into that a little bit. But, we talk about this. Why doesn't an ant build an anthill, right? Like I think on some level, my brothers grew up in the same environment. I'm not better than they are by any means. We're different. But our drive levels for what we find important and what we're driven to accomplish is different for each of us. So, like, what makes me me? I have no clue. There's some inherent thing in me that it's my happy place. Like
you wanted to win.
Yeah, and at 16, 17, 18, 19, the tags, the weird stuff on the cars, like. I think what it was is basically an affirmation.
Do it, fake it till you make it, shit.
Yeah, I mean, and I was making it, but I mean, I guess it's all relative,
like the faking part. You were right.
I mean, I mean, it's a mindset too. Like, I mean, What's the difference? So it's all relative. At the thing when I said got money, I don't know. My net worth at that point might have been, you know, maybe $1 million. I don't know, maybe less, right?
Yeah.
But it didn't matter. It could have been $100,000. My mentality was still the same. Like the question was designed to be thought provoking, and I wanted some level at that age. I was open to debate, and it caused a lot of debate. It caused a lot of problems, right? And people took it in a negative way, but really, it was supposed to spark conversation.
You were pretty cocky back then.
I was extremely, yeah. and I mean, I honestly, at some point,
you still have some of that in you, though.
A little bit, yeah. But I mean, at 25, I realized that that's not the guy that I wanted to be, and I spent till 30 trying to fix it.
Soften some of the edges.
Yeah, and now like, I don't need to like now I don't do things necessarily for other people. I do things because I particularly like them.
That's the difference.
You see me I wear shorts and a T-shirt or my black. If you watch all the episodes, I literally wear the exact same things over and over and over and over again because it makes me happy.
Yeah.
Also, you're OCD and you spend too much time in the closet.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, that's a comfort thing, right? Like,
yeah.
I mean,